first impressions, one could say that I'm in paradise. I'm on a gorgeous sunbed in a beautiful beach club in Tulum, one of the most expensive, exclusive, hot places to be, whatever the kids are saying nowadays. But on the other hand, there's a few very big problems. As you guys can see, I am almost by myself here. It is 11 a.m. on a Monday, so sure, not the most popular time. There's two other ladies there, but I'm in the beach club Limbo, which I heard had really good reviews, and I kind of have to be in this area because I am doing a snorkeling tour this afternoon. And I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if the seaweed extends like all throughout the water in this area, or it's just the stuff that has washed up on the beach. But we are supposed to be going to the area that's in front of the archaeological ruins, and there's supposed to be turtles. I will be really sad if the visibility is bad in that area as well. That kind of defeats the purpose. But having said that, I knew what I was getting myself into. It is supposed to be May through October. That is kind of the worst season for the seaweed phenomenon. But it can also happen at other times. I actually had some friends who came here in, I think, late February or early March or something. And when they were here, this was also still an issue then. But if I'm being honest, like for the prices that Tulum has, I really, don't see the value of coming this time of year, especially when you're still paying very high prices, in my opinion, for what you're getting, and then also having most of the beaches not really be usable. Unfortunately, I really don't see the benefits of coming when this is going on. But let's see, I am at the start of my time here in Tulum. I'll be spending about a week, and there are a lot of other things to do other than the beach. So hopefully those aspects of my time here will go great, and maybe there are some beaches where the seaweed isn't quite a problem. just finished the snorkeling. As you guys already saw, we unfortunately did run into some seaweed. It wasn't super terrible, but there were moments where like you literally couldn't see anything else, and it's not exactly pleasant having it all around you, but it doesn't really hurt, and thankfully it's not slimy. But having said that, the people who took us out were amazing. 100% recommend. I actually found it through Airbnb experiences, and I'll link it in the description because I'm sure that if it wasn't for the seaweed, it would have been so much better. Now, on the other side of good customer service, I actually want to tell you guys about what happened at the restaurant beach club that I was in.
So the audio was unfortunately really bad on the beach, but basically what happened is the waiter tried to have me double tip, where he automatically had put a 16% service charge on the bill and then said the tip wasn't included. And when I inquired, why that was, he said there was an extra tax or something, which I know in all of Mexico the tax is supposed to be included in the prices that they put on their menus. What was even shadier is him just refusing to bring me my itemized bill so then I could see it for myself. And how I actually ended up getting some pseudo bill was having him email me the one that came from the sort of card machine, and literally on that receipt it said the tip was already included, so that's how I knew for sure that he had put it on there himself. And in saying all of this, I don't want to call out Limbo specifically for this incident, because they actually had a really good customer service representative on Instagram who was like really great about the whole situation and told me that it would be dealt with, whatever that means. And then they offered me a sort of day pass to come later in the week, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. But I'm saying this because I have heard this is super prevalent all around Tulum and also Cancun, so I just wanted to put it in this video so you guys are aware that both tip and any kind of tax should not be automatically added to the bill. Now keep in mind there are a lot of different beach clubs that will automatically include tip, and I guess that is just the way it is. The issue that I have with it is if they're trying to hide it and say that you haven't tipped yet. By law, they're not supposed to be able to add a service charge unless on their menu specifically they said that there's an automatic sort of gratuity, but that's just one thing that you should definitely watch out for if you are in these really popular tourist spots in Mexico.
So I'm extremely glad that I decided to stay in Tulum Town, which for those who don't really know much about this area, Tulum is kind of divided up into a few different parts. There's actually two separate kind of hotel zones that are right on the beach. That's where we were yesterday, where it can be extremely expensive. And then about a 15-minute drive from that beach part, we have Tulum Town, which is kind of the main, downtown center of the area. This is where most of the locals live, and also where there is much more budget-friendly accommodation. Because even though it's the off-season, when I was looking for beachfront properties, unless I wanted to pay $70 for a bunk bed at Alina hostel, basically everything else was at least $200 US. And to me, that's honestly outrageous, with the seaweed problem that's been going on for basically a month now, to charge that kind of prices when you can't even really use the beach. So honestly, I would say that staying in Tulum Town is a fantastic option. You also have way more selection when it comes to like restaurants, you have shops nearby, there's grocery stores if you want to cook. So I'm really grateful that I decided to stay in this area, and I got a crazy good deal on my Airbnb, which I'll show you guys in a few minutes. But for now, I am at this super good vegan cafe. This is my second time here. I liked it so much the first time that I came here. They have really good food for really good prices. So I ended up getting the coconut curry, which looks incredible. It has like tofu, different beans, vegetables. I even got some stuff to go for later tonight. And that's one of the other really nice things about Tulum, is that it is super health conscious. Like, you can get, you know, fresh fruits and veggies everywhere. It's usually not that expensive. And if you're vegan, it's also a really great place because there are so many vegan restaurants in Tulum. So let me give you guys a quick tour of where I am staying in Tulum Town. This lovely, pretty spacious 1-bedroom apartment that has two, oh, that's a terrible sound, that has 2 washrooms. There's another one over here, and then this is the bedroom. Super nice. When I see myself in the viewer of this camera in this light, I realize just how sunburnt I got yesterday, even though I reapplied sunscreen 3 times. 3 times. So just a last note about the accommodation. The craziest part is that I got this place for more or less, maybe about 32, 33 US dollars a night, which is a steal. Even the Airbnbs here are usually at least like $50, $60 a night for something as spacious as this. And even if you really want to stay in one of the top hostels here in Tulum Town, it's still like, you know, $20, $25 for a bunk. So to get my own place that is this spacious, and I'm about 4 blocks off of the main road, is an incredible deal. I have the nicest host. They're actually like in the bottom section of the house. I am just so grateful. I did not get to the Tulum ruins as early as I would have liked, and it's Sunday, arguably the worst day to visit because of the crowds. But I am getting down to my last few days here, so I knew that I couldn't miss seeing the Tulum ruins, since they are arguably the second most famous ruins after Chichen Itza in Mexico. Tulum in the Yucatec language actually translates to wall, because it is a walled sort of, city. It does only have 3 walls though, because it is facing the water. So it's also one of the most beautiful views when it comes to some of the different Mayan ruins in the area. For the second part of this video, I thought I would just voice it over to make things simple, but basically I decided to bike all the way to the hotel zone, which is fine when there is a bike path. When there is not, I will say it gets a little bit dodgy with the traffic, and to my surprise, none of the rental places give people helmets. The main reason that I came down here was to actually visit a beach club called How, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it was suggested to me as a really good place to get some food, and also they have some really interesting artwork and sculptures, which I'll show you guys later. Basically, I knew I would be spending a lot of money to eat at this beach club, but I didn't realize that if I wanted to sit in the lower part with all of the beach chairs and lounge chairs, even though you can't use the beach, it was a minimum spend of $100. Thankfully, their restaurant portion didn't have a minimum spend, but it was still about $50 for their lunch portion of steak, a bottle of sparkling water, and a cappuccino. So in my books, that's still pretty expensive. But like I said before, the main reason that I came down to this beach club was because they have this super cool sculpture that I do think is 100% worth visiting, and it is super cool in real life. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about Tulum, guys. Obviously, if the beach was usable, it would have been a totally different trip, and I think in that scenario I would say, like, my god, this is an amazing place, you should visit. But on the other hand, it is super expensive. Like, that's kind of the main thing to keep in mind. It's not a budget-friendly destination, like, let's put it that way. If you really want to get the full experience, I do see that it would make much more sense to actually be in this area, be on the beach, because even with the bike, I have been biking for definitely over an hour today. Like, it takes a really long time to get in between places. It's really hot out, there's crazy traffic, so it's tricky. It really depends on what your priorities are, like what you want to do. If you don't care about the beach, and if you want like really good, you know, nightlife and restaurants and the whole like spiritual retreats, then Tulum's amazing. Like, you can come here any time of the year and have that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be off to Cancun, back to Cancun in a couple days before going to Isla Mujeres, which I've heard very good things about, and apparently their beaches don't really have the seaweed problem. So stay tuned. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and as always, keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys.